I've seen a lot of people complaining about the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection not having crossplay, but then I've seen the other end of it where people are saying that they're glad it doesn't have crossplay. So in today's video, I wanted to go over whether or not the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection should actually have cross-platform multiplayer. Now before I do get into that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on to never miss a piece of Star Wars Battlefront content. I've got a heck of a lot planned over the coming weeks for this game, so do stick around. Firstly then, it's worth saying that whilst it doesn't seemingly have crossplay, the game does have cross-generation support, which means that people who have PlayStation 4 will be able to play with those playing on PlayStation 5, and people on Xbox One will be able to play with people playing via the Xbox Series S and X consoles. So as an absolute bare minimum, that is definitely good to see, but by no means commendable. Now in this day and age, you would think that cross-platform is an absolute must in multiplayer games, because it means that no matter what platforms your friends play on, you can actually play with each other without having to spend £2,000 on a PC or £500 on a new console. Personally, I have friends on pretty much every platform, so being able to play some of my favourite games with all of them has been a godsend. Now that isn't the only bonus, of course. Having cross-platform play means that regions that seemingly struggle for player numbers, like Australia does sometimes, it means that people in those regions will have a higher chance of being able to play in full lobbies at probably most times of the day. As part of that benefit, you then also reduce the overall time matchmaking, which is always a positive thing because it means you're spending more time playing and less time sat in the menus doing absolutely nothing. Before going any further into this video, I just wanted to announce that I've just released a brand new merch design inspired by the iconic. We have captured a command post line from the original Battlefront games on my store. You can find the link to it in the description of this video, so make sure you go and check it out and grab one for yourself in time for the release of the Battlefront Classic collection. So cross-platform is always a great thing, but then there is that other side to it, which is that on PC you can have a lot of hackers. Games like Call of Duty are riddled with them, and whilst the anti-cheat is doing its job, it's still seemingly plagued by hackers, which ruins the experience for absolutely everyone, and that's obviously something that nobody wants to see in the game. Now with this game being a port of two 20-year-old games, I do fear that hacking could potentially be quite an easy thing to do, and I guess it ultimately depends if Aspyr have actually set up an anti-cheat with this game and actually have a reporting system and all the rest of it, because if they don't, I'd honestly be a bit scared to have crossplay turned on if it was in the game, and naturally I don't want to be living in fear of hackers. Now the hackers argument is really the only thing that would deter me from actually wanting cross-platform, but I really do think it should be in the game regardless of that, because if you're worried about it then you can always just turn cross-platform off, but then of course you are reduced to your platform only, which at the start shouldn't be an issue, but later on in maybe a year or two's time that could be quite a struggle. To be honest though, I think at an absolute minimum, cross-platform should be in this game, however for consoles only, which means that PlayStation, Xbox and Switch should all be able to play together, but then you just can't play with PC, and it means that PC will then just be able to only play by themselves. Now that would obviously suck for PC players because they are essentially segregated from everyone else, which is definitely not a positive thing for the community, but I do think that that should be something at an absolute minimum. Ideally though, cross-platform would of course be for everyone, so PC included, because I think the positives of having crossplay far outweigh the negatives. So I do think it is a real shame that the Battlefront Classic Collection doesn't have crossplay, but hopefully if enough people are asking for it then maybe that's something they could do in the future, but I can't see that being the case because Aspyr normally will just port a game, it will release, and then that's the end of it really, so I wouldn't really expect too much from them. But even though it doesn't have cross-platform, it's not going to stop me from playing this multiplayer a ton, and hopefully the PlayStation gang will be able to get the numbers up nice and high for a long while. So to fully answer the question of whether or not cross-platform should be in this game, the short answer is yes, it absolutely should be, but like I said, it's not the biggest problem for me with the fact that it's not. Let me know what you think about cross-platform in the comments below though. I'm very curious to see what you think about it, as I've seen a lot of things saying yes and no for it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Battlefront content. That is it from me today though. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.